Hey, everybody. Welcome in the building. What is today? Today is Monday. It's Monday night, trending topics. I'm glad y'all in the building. Diva is here. And the title is called Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But before I get into tonight's trending topics and tonight's title, I do want to say to everybody, thank you for all the condolences. I truly appreciate it. It is painful. It's painful, but I will say this. I am super grateful that my dad lived 86 years, good life. He lived a good life. So let me move on. But I'm grateful. And I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who thought about me, text me, called me, put a message on my community board, send a message via my Instagram. My heart is warm from that. And I truly appreciate y'all for just thinking about me, for praying for me. I'm overwhelmed and I'm really grateful. So we'll get into tonight's trending topics. The title is called Unbelievable, and I see y'all out there. Thank you guys for being here. Much love. Okay. Unbelievable. Tory Lanez Lawyer Drama. His story is interesting. Very interesting. He's saying that his lawyer, I just want to say the lawyer name is Shawn Holley, is tied to Roc Nation, and he wants a refund. He said he gave a retainer of $300,000. I'm rounding it up because he said anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. He gave her a retainer. And he said that she didn't do her job. Matter of fact, she had a conflict of interest because she was connected to Roc Nation. And y'all know that Roc Nation and Megan Thee Stallion, they're connected. And he's saying his lawyer was really trying to talk him into a plea deal for the best interest of Megan Thee Stallion, Roc Nation, and that whole situation. Listen, this is alleged, and I will say this: the lawyers are messy now. Look, what can we do in this world when it seems like allegedly law enforcement is messy? Allegedly, a lot of these lawyers are messy. And if she is and did what Tory Lanez say that she did, forget about how you feel about Tory Lanez and think about how messed up of a lawyer she is if this is so. So we're going to get into it. Yes, we are. Unbelievable. And I would just say, I hope this, as a whole lawyer that went to law school, that studied and practiced and passed the bar, will be wrapped up in some shenanigans like this. Crazy. But we're going to talk about it. Listen, I do not have it yet, and probably thank God that I don't have it yet. But this latest Diddy lawsuit, a 10-year-old, all I could say is, if not even, we don't even got to do half. If a quarter of this stuff that Diddy is being accused of is true, he's beyond a monster. First of all, to violate anyone is horrific. But a 10-year-old, and remember, we're still haven't heard about the 9-year-old. And I see y'all in the chat, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you, everyone. I truly, truly appreciate it. A 10-year-old, they gave him soda, allegedly, that had substances in it. Oh, good God. Just very sad. Very, very sad. But we're going to talk about it. Then we got Kanye West School, this Donda Academy. Now, we've been heard about the craziness that allegedly went on at this academy. Teachers suing, people accusing him of many things, that he didn't like steps, so they couldn't have classes on the second floor, that they ate sushi for lunch and breakfast, and all kind of craziness going on at that school, to the point where teachers are now suing Donda Academy and Kanye West. So we're going to have this one whistleblower that she said, I was not afraid to say my name. She said, I didn't care that it was Kanye. You know, a lot of these individuals, and again, this is no judgment. A lot of these individuals, they said, well, you know, I was scared because it was Diddy. I was scared to say something because it was Kanye. Well, she said, no, I didn't give a darn that it was Kanye West. I cared about the kids. And so she said, I was a whistleblower. And as a result, I got fired, and now she wants her due process. She wants her money. We're going to hear about this. Now, listen, sometimes celebrities are just individuals that have a lot of money. They think they could just start and open and run anything. I'm a celebrity. I got a bunch of money. But oh, let me open a restaurant. Well, if you don't know nothing about the restaurant business, that's one of the dumbest things you could do. Oh, I'm going to start a clothing line. Just because you got the money in the name. You need to know a little more something about that industry that you're trying to get yourself into. When you talking about running a school, that's no joke. You need teachers. You need a principal. You need security guards. You need a nurse. You need all kind of stuff. And you need to know a little bit something more about education. And just because your mother was an educator, that don't mean that all them good vibes and genes seeped into you. And now you can just run a school. If anything, donate your money to some school that you want to improve and want to get better. And lean back. You can't be, come on, Felicia, the cafeteria staff. The running a school ain't no joke. You got to know about these standardized tests, how to prepare the students to pass the standardized tests. It's no joke. And you just go to sleep and wake up. And I understand his mother passed. I get it. And his mother was an educator. So he was like, oh, let me just open a school in my mother's name. How about you donate some money to a school, get a bench or something, or a hall or a library in said school with your mother's name on it? But you can't just blink your eyes and think you're going to open a school. These are the future. These are the kids. Do you want to pump your craziness on them? They only could eat sushi? Are you crazy? They got to wear black? Now, y'all know my favorite color is black, but I don't impose it upon nobody. It's a mess. They had to sit on the floor to learn. But I want y'all to buckle your seatbelts real quick. So he opened the school. So some crazy things was happening at that school. When your kids are birth to, I'm going to say, about maybe 10, 11, 12, 13, some of them up to 18. When they come home, you're supposed to ask them, how was school? What did you learn today? Even if you got one eye open in the bed because you don't work 3 shifts and you tired. Be like, hey, babe, come in here. Tell me how school was. Because no matter how tired you are, trust me, if your kids say something crazy, you perk up. You sit up in the bed. You like, what happened? The teacher said, what? What? And your kid had to say, no, calm down, mom, calm down. No. You be like, no. What did you say? You're supposed to ask your kids after school, how was school? How's it going? How you doing? What did you learn today? Even if you don't understand it, because that new math and all the way they do stuff in school now wasn't the way. Come on now, Felicia, what did you eat? Did you only have sushi? You got to speak to the kids. And when your kids tell you that in the school, this Donda Academy is supposed to be a private school. When your kids tell you in the school they sitting on the floor, you like, hold up, wait a minute. What? There's no upstairs in the school? The kindergarten, the first grade, and the second grade, y'all all in the same room? So I always try to teach over here. Stop being so impressed because a person is a celebrity. Stop being so impressed because a person has money. Be good with whatever you have, and then you won't fall for the shenanigans. Because the school said Kanye West on it, people was willing to let their kid go through whatever at that school, and not me. Now, a celebrity school that I heard is doing extremely well, LeBron James. You want to go to a celebrity school? Then you move to wherever LeBron James school is and try to get your kid in there. If I had a kid that was still in school age, I would move to wherever that LeBron James school is, and I would live in a studio apartment to send my kid to that school. Yes, I would. And especially if I was a parent who didn't have the opportunity to go to school, because LeBron James school, he liked to teach the kids and the parents. The parents get to go to a community college or something like that. Look it up. LeBron James schools. Yes, I would. I would tell my kid, get in the car, pack it up, and I would be writing the LeBron James school and whoever else every single day, please let my kid in and help me get educated also. Yes, I would. And I would tell my kid, we're going to make this sacrifice. I know you got to leave your cousins, make new friends. We're going to be living in a new state, in a new neighborhood. We're going to have to figure this thing out. But we're going to the LeBron James school, where when the people graduate, they get to go to college for free. You can't buy that anywhere. But don't just have your kid in the school because it's a Kanye West school or it's a Diddy school. Diddy had a school out there in Harlem. He sure did. I don't know. Does it still exist? Somebody check that out. They probably shut that thing down. I want to say that Diddy school was in Harlem. And they didn't have too many great things to say about that school either. And this was before this big scandal with him. But the people wanted to send their kids to the Diddy school and the Kanye school just because they like Diddy and they like Kanye. And their kids suffered. And yeah, come on now, Felicia, stay involved. Volunteer in the front office, the library, after school care. Stay involved with the kids. So that way you know what's going down and what's going on. Oh, God, Katrina, don't start now. Now, Diddy had easy access to the kids. Good gosh almighty. Whoo, child. Not the kids. This 10-year-old. I was sick to my stomach. I said, I don't know how much more of this Diddy stuff I can deal with. I don't know. A soda? But can y'all buckle your seatbelt? Let me give a public service announcement. And I ain't perfect. I don't know nobody who is. But if your kid is underage, and I'm talking about even 18, I was asking my kid, who that? Where you think you going with? Well, who? He kept saying, Mom, I'm 7. I don't care. Who kid from birth to 18. I told you I stay in the business forever, right? My dad was always in my business. Stay in the business forever. From birth to 18 at the very least. I don't care if your kid want to be a cheerleader, a basketball player, a dancer, whatever. There is no need and no reason for them to be with said person alone without you. Definitely not your 10-year-old. I need to hear your kid rap alone. Well, he won't be rapping for you. No, he won't. I need to hear your kid sing and you can't be in the room. Well, they're not going to be singing for you. No, they're not. No, no. Many of us say we believe. If you really truly believe, you know that when your time comes, it's going to come. So if you got to turn down 50 people who say they got to be and see your kid without you in the room, it's a no thank you for me. And I want to help somebody say no thank you, that we're good. And especially now with all of these social media out here, when you can go to sleep and wake up and be a whole success, you don't need nobody. No, you need to see my kids sing. Then you go to their YouTube page, go to their Instagram page, go to their TikTok, and then you holler back at us and let us know if you're interested. And if you are, I got to be in the room. You're going to make them a star. They're a star already. You going to give them a contract? Because my kids are star already. Are you going to give them a contract? And if so, go check out the TikTok. Oh, you want to make sure we didn't use no instruments or anything that to make their voice on that TikTok? Okay, stand right here. Go ahead, sing, little one. Sing. Well, all of us standing here together. We got to protect the kids. Protect the kids. Because the entertainment industry is not the only sinister industry, because we're seeing now a lot of teachers are, for whatever reason, sleeping with the kids. And they taking their kids in the classroom and they having other kids be the lookout. This is true stories. Teachers, and we're talking male and female teachers. Female teachers straight up getting pregnant by underage students. I read a story the other day. The pastor in the back seat with an underage kid. So the nastiness, come on, Tay, the nastiness is across everything. From the low end all the way up. Don't let nobody be alone with your kids. Nobody. Not the teacher, the coach. No, nobody. Listen, guys, the title is called Unbelievable. We're talking Tory Lanez, another Diddy lawsuit, and Kanye West, Donda Academy, okay? Being exposed. Listen, guys, let me go ahead and bring the people in the building. Y'all know what I need in that chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Monday Night Trending Topics, and we got stuff to talk about. It's called Unbelievable. Tory Lanez, Diddy, and Kanye West. Let me go ahead and bring the people on in the building. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva. Good evening. Welcome back.
Thank you. Hey, my opinion.
Hey, Diva. Choo choo.
Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Choo, choo, choo. Glad to see you back, girl.
Thank you. Hey, Felicia. All right, Felicia she'll come back to us. So you know what, guys, I want to go ahead and start with this Donda Academy. Because, you know, it takes a lot to be the whistleblower. It takes a lot to be the first one to say something about something. Because a lot of times when you're the first one, hey, Jonathan, I see you. Hey, everybody. When you're the first one to say something, a lot of time you're not believed, right? They're like, you know, well, we'll look into that. So it's messy. So let me go ahead and let's listen to this whistleblower who told them, like, the Donda Academy is a whole hot mess. Let me share screen. Let me see. Let me see if it needs to be. Okay, maybe now. If it's acting up, there we go.
Kanye, this was a mess, and you knew it was a mess, and you shouldn't have gotten yourself involved. Teaching these kids to march, to be honest with you, I kind of got Hitler vibes around that, or real bizarre things. You want all the children to be educated in how to carry a gun, how to shoot a gun. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not having my third graders out learning how to shoot rifles. Absolutely not.
A whistleblower who worked at Kanye West Donda Academy has lifted the lid on her disturbing experience working at the star's private school. Former teacher Cecilia Haley claims Kanye wanted the children to learn how to shoot guns and march after his worrying rants about Hitler and the Nazis. Haley, who is suing Kanye along with other teachers for wrongful termination, also alleges the school had a serious issue with bullying. She claims she witnessed children cowering under tables as physical fights broke out, and they were not allowed to be disciplined. Haley also alleges children fell ill, while others were left hungry after only being served sushi. A second teacher involved in a lawsuit also alleged to the US Sun that she was aware of a person Donda Academy was looking to hire, who would teach tactical and military skills. They claimed he was going to teach the kids how to survive in the wilderness, hunting, camping, and how to load and shoot firearms. There is no indication that children were made to complete the rifle training or that families who had to sign NDAs were aware of the plans.
My name is Cecilia Haley, and I got a call to go to Donda initially as a substitute teacher. And I got there, I stayed 3 days, and they said, we need you on staff here. I knew nothing about the school or what it really entailed until I got there. No stability, kids could not sit down. They were learning on round tables. They didn't have adequate desks or seating. They were sitting on these foam cushions that they had made. Kanye had a problem with stairs, and so the classes that were conducted upstairs had now been moved down to downstairs. So we had kindergarten, first, second, third, and fourth grade down on one level, taught by 2 to 3 people. And then the 5th through the 12th grade was taught across the street at another campus, really by one teacher who had 5th through 12th grade.
Haley separately made the most disturbing claim to the US Sun, alleging Kanye wanted children to learn to march and know how to use guns. Donda Academy and Kanye did not return multiple requests for comment.
He wanted all the children to be educated in how to carry a gun, how to shoot a gun. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not having my third graders out learning how to shoot rifles. Absolutely not. It came up kind of early when I first got there, wanting to know how I felt about the kids learning to march and how I felt about the kids taking gun classes and rifle classes. And I'm thinking, that is not going to happen if I'm here. That's not acceptable. It's not necessary. And what does that have to do with education? Teaching these kids to march, to be honest with you, I kind of got Hitler vibes around that, or real bizarre things. I think he's very delusional. And I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know where he thinks children fit in this. We're not talking about adults here. We're talking about 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
The lawsuit also claims bullying was out of control at the school, with no way for teachers to discipline students and stop the violence.
And there was a lot of bullying at the school. They were being physical. They would fight. The bigger kids would fight the little kids. So you might have a fourth grader here hitting on a kindergartner or a first grader. We had kids hiding under tables because they were afraid. It was mayhem, really. So there were armed guards outside. but the kids were not safe inside because when they would play in the area that was designated as the play area and the teaching and the learning area, uh, there was bullying, there was fighting. Kids would fall and get injured, and so what were we to do? We didn't have a nurse on staff or anybody to come in and help the children.
Kanye allegedly had many bizarre demands, including serving only sushi for lunch, which Hailey says she fought to try and change as many children went hungry.
Initially, the kids were being given a decent meal, and then all of a sudden, Kanye gave them sushi every single day. Kids were getting sick. We had a couple of kids that had to stay out. We had kids that were hungry because they didn't eat sushi. So then that means from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 or 6 o'clock at night, maybe they only had fruit in the day. There were teachers that would go out. We just kind of sneak out and go get food for the kids because we had to. We absolutely had to do that because the kids were hungry.
The US Sun also sat down with attorneys Ron Zambrano and Nima Rahmani from West Coast Trial Lawyers, who represent teachers in 2 separate Donda Academy suits, to talk through the claims. The second stems from when the campus was in Simi Valley in a ranch with no windows.
So Cecilia Haley, who is the lead plaintiff, and her daughter Sha'Carri Byers initially came to us when they were fired, and they're the ones who told us the sushi story, which most people know, but there's so many other things that came on. The sushi is the funnest story, but really it was the safety of the kids. There was, electrical fires that were happening. The windows were getting the kids very cold. There were medicines that belonged to kids that needed insulin shots that were just left about without any type of labeling or notices to the teachers. Kanye had this idea at that point of no windows, so they were at the campus, and then all of a sudden these kids were in these rooms where there was no windows at 8 a.m. Everything had to be black, no color in the classrooms for an elementary school is odd. He didn't at that point have things on the second floor. The no windows, I think, is the most egregious thing. Kids, and we're talking about this started in winter, right? So Simi Valley in the winter, it's cold, and these kids, they had to figure out curtains. There were these really odd things that he being Kanye was very strict about, like the no color. Everything was black at one point. He wears black. His cars are black. They had to paint. They had to paint the benches black. That was. Yeah, I don't want to. It's weird. It is weird.
Kanye founded Donda Academy, a private Christian school, in 2022, and it was a tribute to his late mother, Professor Donda West. She worked for more than 30 years at Chicago State University and was head of the Department of English, Communications, Media, and Theater. After retiring in 2004, she relocated to California to work full-time for Kanye before her death just 3 years later. She was only 58 years old.
That's how it started. I want to create a school. I want to name it after my mom. My mom just passed away. But it's one of these many, many things that he'll go through, put all his passion in, even though he doesn't know what he's doing, and eventually it'll fade away. And as you know, something we'll talk about later, he'll move on.
The worrying allegations come as a John Doe is also suing the star in a new lawsuit, claiming Kanye threatened to kill him when he raised issues about alleged abuse at Donda Academy. Kanye is yet to respond or comment on the lawsuit. Only a few photographs ever emerged from inside of the school, posted to social media by the rapper and other teachers. Kanye has denied the main claims in the lawsuit filed by Haley and other teachers and has no legal representation. He did not return a request for comment by the US Sun on the additional claims made by Haley in our interview. The US Sun has also been in contact with the school's then principal, Moira Love, who has not yet returned a request for comment. The lawsuit has been dragging on for more than a year and is not the only one involving Donda Academy teachers. But not all those tied with the school disagreed with the way it was allegedly run. The US Sun has spoken to Kanye's longtime friend and collaborator, Malik Youssef, a Grammy Award winner who worked as an advisor at Donda.
I've met Kanye West in 2000. I don't remember a time when we didn't talk about Donda Academy. As professionals. I wouldn't call myself a school administrator. I would call myself an advisor. So we can't lock kids in at 3 years old. At 3 years old, you want to be a doctor, and at 5, you want to be an electrician, and then at 6, you want to be a superhero. So I don't think we should lock kids in like that. And I think that Donda Academy was made to be free in that way. Dr. Donda was an educator in every sense of the word. Not only was she a professor and a doctor, obviously, which, Dr. Donda West, Donda West PhD. She was also an educator in her everyday life.
Malik defended many of Kanye's alleged rules at the school, including the food served and not having windows.
I think sushi is a great meal. My children eat sushi. And I know that we live in a world where everyone should be able to eat fresh foods. The window thing, I was not aware of that. I've heard rumors of it. I've not spoken to Ye about that, but I do know that we had a really sensory deprivation experiment that we did as adults. We were working on the Donda album. We were living in a stadium. There was no windows. And I think it helped concentrate us. Safety, what is safety? Where is there safe in the world? Like we got school shootings, and we're talking about kids, feeling somewhat uncomfortable. And I'm not in any way minimizing or diminishing a parent's concern for their kids. But you're not gonna be over concerned at Donda Academy and send your kids to public school where we've had 300 mass shootings. Sorry, I'm not going for it.
Kanye is also being sued by a third former employee who worked at Donda, who claims he wanted to shave students' heads and lock them in cages. He's also yet to respond to that lawsuit, and Malik denies ever hearing about cages at the school.
It could have been a conversation. I can't say I will, but I'll say 99% sure that Ye would never try to put kids in a cage.
Teachers at the school became frustrated with Kanye's demands and constantly complained to those higher up, but their concerns allegedly fell on deaf ears.
It was horrible. And I think I went through a little depression because I knew that we just were not servicing these children properly at all. Kids couldn't read. They were behind. This was unacceptable.
Kanye's not a principal. He's not a certified teacher in that way. So obviously we're going to go hire the best people to bring them in to do the job necessary. It's not easy to get traditionally trained educators to kind of come back to a more holistic brand of teaching, even with all the skills and all of their particular je ne sais quoi or savoir faire. Still have to train them how to deal with these babies.
He was butting heads with the people that he had recruited, very established people that had education background. So it was a constant fight from the beginning. There's very strange things that happen at Donda because at that point he felt very passionate about. It wasn't doing what it wanted to do, and he just moved on. And that's what he does. He also moves through staff a lot, and he doesn't pay people a lot.
After weeks of allegedly raising concerns about conditions at the school, Haley eventually received a letter stating she was fired.
I am a licensed professional that is responsible for the lives of children. This is what I've been educated to do and what I've done all my life. So I'm not breaking the law knowing that these things are going on. And so to whistleblow to our employer and let them know that we knew what was going on and that we needed to make these changes for them not to care and fall on deaf ears, I think it was just easier to get rid of us so they could continue doing the chaos as usual. He can't come in the building because I said, well, can I at least come in and get my things? It was me and another teacher, and they're like, no, that was it. Had no clue at all. I was humiliated, but I felt for my kids. I've fallen in love with my second and third graders, and I saw them progressing and getting better and learning and being able to regurgitate what they'd learned. And everybody in the school would notice it too. I decided to file a suit, and I'm suing for wrongful termination and lost wages. I took action because I felt bad for the children. And I also knew that the things that had been going on at the school were against the law. And I felt whistleblowing was going to be the only way that these things were going to change. I didn't worry about who it was. I didn't worry about the repercussions. Oh, it's Kanye West and he's going to come after you. I could care less. My concern was for those children, knowing that inside those walls was a zoo. And they were not being educated at all. And there was supposedly a private school. Kanye, this was a mess, and you knew it was a mess, and you shouldn't have gotten yourself involved. If you know that you can't run something adequately, don't put the lives of children and other people in the middle of your stuff.
And they kept complaining, and then they were fired. And that is the lawsuit for saying, hey, this is unsafe for the kids. This is a violation of their rights, and they cannot. And they were punished. The teachers were punished for that. they did their best, but one of the reasons they were complaining is because from their perspective, they were not getting a good education. Like, we're not here to bash any celebrity, just to make sure if you have employees, you treat them respectfully. If they tell you about laws being violated, especially when it has to do with children, that you respect the kids.
Kanye has many talents and he's done many things, but I don't think running a school is where his strengths are. Despite all his legal problems, we still haven't seen Kanye West in a courtroom in a trial, so we'll be interested to see if that actually happens.
He's on his third set of attorneys now, so I don't know if it's a lack of communication between the attorneys and him, or he doesn't like what the attorneys are saying, which would be kind of what he didn't like what the teachers are saying. I don't know, but we have not heard directly from him. But we do have a court date. It's in April of next year, so one way or the other, something's going to happen with him.
But friend Malik has hit back at those suing the star, claiming the teachers were simply not able to carry out his vision for Donda Academy.
I think there's some frivolity to those lawsuits. I think people get a chance to pile in and dog pile on Ye because he has money. I also think that maybe they did have some real concerns because of their trepidation to go into this world. And I'm looking at these lawsuits and it's like this, it's just so much allegory and pomp and circumstance and pageantry with these laws. Oh, it was horrible. Alligators almost took my leg off, and James Bond came and said, "Man, go ahead on somewhere." And it's not to, again, diminish anybody's pain. Everybody's pain is valid. I just think their tolerance level was lower than they thought it was. They wasn't built for this.
The US Sun can also reveal the former school is now called Donda Academy and is a registered charity offering free classes focused on music and sports. It is operating from the same building in Chatsworth, just outside of Los Angeles, and Kanye is still making decisions on how it is run.
As long as they let the professionals do their work and him just provide the space for them to do it and kind of keep his nose out of it.
It needs to be totally disseminated. It does not need to exist. We don't know what they're doing. We know kids come after school, but then what? We don't know what's really going on. I worry about my kids. I wonder where my children are, how they're doing in the schools, if they're someplace else, how they're progressing. Again, the traumas that they've experienced in the last 2 years, having so much chaos in their school life. Are they sleeping well? Are they eating better? Are they stable? Because they were so young, and this is the age where they're impressionable. And I'm hoping that they're getting the services they need, if they need them, to get caught up and feel, because going in to a school when you're behind is not good at all.
I know that was a lot to digest. It's messy. Savannah, your thoughts?
Oh my, that was a lot to digest in one. And there can be, there is absolutely fault all the way around here from Kanye and whoever this person is. I didn't catch his name, but the advisor, faculty, and parents as well. So there's absolutely fault to be laid on everyone's feet here, because what I understood about this school, this was presented as a Christian school, because this started when Kanye was doing that church circle service that he was involved in. And I believe that this is not an accredited school. And so, and Felicia, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that means that the when they graduate, seniors might not have enough credits, or their certifications or diplomas would not be met state requirements for them to go to college. Or I mean, I've always understood this to be a non-accredited school where these children were not being taught in a more structured academic environment. And I think that's where a lot of the failings here, because you do need a schedule, you do need some type of structure, and you do need some type of plan. I didn't hear from any PhDs. Does he have a board? Are there any besides this person? I mean, that can't be the only advisor, but does he have a board of advisors that builds this curriculum and teaches these students. And then as parents, I didn't hear any involvement on the parents. Are they attending any type of parent teacher meetings, or are they getting involved with volunteer activities, attending back to school nights, orientation? Like, where the parents? And I think that this is where we fail now as a society. We just hand over our children to someone just because they're a celebrity. They fail to do their research, not only on the beliefs and understandings of the celebrity, but what are you sending your child to? What is this school going to do to enlighten your child and make them a better all-around student? And lastly, I would question anywhere that he as the owner, what doesn't even send his own children to. So what are you teaching minds that you absolutely shield yours from? Because his children don't even come to the school for a visit. So this is it's messy, it's twisted, it's sad, and there seems to be some type of, even a hint of a cult here. I don't like those uniforms. I'm trying to understand. And so I think that I thank the ones that are speaking out, but I do recall hearing a couple years ago that there were lawsuits. And I remember that even the director, the executive director that he put in charge, she has no experience as an educator. She was just the head of his choir director. She was the choir director at his church. That's why I recall this story of it when they started with the issues of this school. I just think it's going to get even muckier, and the ones who always suffer is the children.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Savannah. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So I don't understand how people as administrators when they don't know what school is about. Because you can't say your kids eat sushi every day, so you don't understand what's wrong with it. You can't eat fish every day. You can't eat raw fish every day like that. For a kid, they need other things. They need substance. They need vegetables. They need other proteins. It's not about what you think, okay? Because you're not telling me you feeding your kids every day sushi all day. You just can't do that. So these kids getting sick and having to stay home. First, second, third, and kindergarten all in the same classroom together is ridiculous. Bigger kids bullying the babies and having to hide up under tables, no windows, wearing black. We messing with firearms. And you saying this is safer than public schools? I beg to differ. There is no way a 6-year-old should be in a room with an 8-year-old. Just no way. You don't never see that nowhere. Not in any facility have you ever seen them mix those kind of age groups together, because their level of intelligence is different. This is a whole hot mess. I think this is something that definitely should be sanctioned. We shouldn't have institutions out here like this to corrupt our kids. Our kids' mind are impressionable at these ages. They learn from this age. And so what is he teaching these kids for real? If they're not learning anything that's classwork, why would we put them in this predicament? To mess up somebody else's head. Kanye needs to go back into a mental facility and get the help that he needs and leave these children alone.
Thank you. In my opinion, I appreciate you. You know, I honestly thought of fire codes. I don't know for sure, but I know that if you have in your home a basement and that basement doesn't have windows in a way to get out, that it's not even legal for anyone to sleep in said basement or live in said basement. You can still have that basement in your home, but no one can live in there. I don't understand how a school was even allowed to be built and got past all of these codes when there was no window. This thing just seems so crazy to me. Tay, your thoughts?
Kanye, you just destroy your mama name legacy because of your foolishness and your shameful right here. One, I'm not gonna send my kid over there. Kindergarten through like 12th grade, they all had each their own room. Like kindergarten, they had their own hall. First grade to second, and all the way through 12th grade, they had their own hall right there. And then you want to put all the grades in the same room? Have you lost your mama mind, Kanye? I will not go. I will not send my kid over there. And number two, you had them eat sushi every day. Who eats sushi every day in a private school like that? I sure don't. We all remember how our school was. We eat chicken, fish, pizza, in different month right there. That's how I remember when I was in school. I don't want that right there. And you do it like a Hitler, had them learn it like a Hitler thing. Oh my God! Like in my opinion, say, Kanye, you need to get help, a real serious help. And those babies right there, they're gonna need a therapy for after this right here. And what player you gonna put? Put them at the war right there. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Tay Tay. Katrina, you're up.
Okay, Tay Tay, I gotta follow you. Um, any parent that got their children going to their school, CPS need to be at their house
Mm.
because these kids is being mind controlled. First of all, you got them in all black. What you think you're doing? You think that's a concentration camp? Because that's what I'm getting. If you want them to be in the military school, then you should call your school a military school. You got these kids standing up all day. Then
Mm.
they going into a PE, whatever the little playroom, and all of them in there together. This is dangerous. And for the teachers to still to be teaching this, teaching these kids, they need to be the CPS need to be at their houses too. Because what I'm seeing is y'all condoning kids being neglected and kids being treated unfairly. So these kids eating sushi, some of them get sick. Maybe the fish, maybe the fish is not cold enough, and maybe the fish is not fresh. You feeding these kids sushi, you got to get that meat have to be fresh every day, and they got to be set at a certain type of temperature. Nevertheless, what is these kids learning when you got all these kids in one class from first, second, and third all in one class? The books are totally different from one section to another, from one grade to another. And so you got them all in there learning what? So it's the third grade learning what the kindergarten is doing, it's kindergarten learning what the third grade is doing. You got this school. This school need to be shut down. It's a nice school. Maybe somebody need to get in there that know how to run a school. And that little flunky that he got saying that he's not doing anything wrong, he need to be behind bars too because he is doing something wrong. He's condoning you trying to build these kids up to be militants in a concentration camp. So you need to be behind bars as well. All of them need to be behind bars. I'm glad the whistleblower came out and stated this because a lot of people wouldn't even know this. This is totally, totally sad, and they need help. You, in my opinion, was right on that part. He definitely need help because how you gonna run a school when you can't even run your own life? Your own life is a mess. So what school and like there's no possible way that you would be teaching my child anything after we seeing the way you see way you live in your life and how what we seeing on the street that you're doing. And you think I'm gonna put my child in the school for something like this to happen again? Are you insane? The parents need to CPS need to be at their house. CPS need to be at the teacher's house. CPS need to be at the little flunky house that's saying that the school should be ran this way. He don't see nothing wrong with people eating sushi every day. Man, have you lost your entirely mind? These people are crazy. There's no way I would have my child in that school. And y'all know how I go up for my kids and grandkids. There's no possible way I would have anything to do with this school. This is totally ridiculous. And I hope they get exactly what they got coming to them. All of them need to be punished. I'm not saying punish the teacher because they're trying to do their job or whatsoever, but there's no way I will be eating at that school, even trying to teach children in this school under the conditions that they're learning under. That's ridiculous and sad. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Katrina. Felicia, your thoughts?
Good evening, everyone. Diva, thank you for coming back. We missed you.
Oh, thank you. I miss y'all too.
You know, there's so much going on here. And one of the things about education, this is my passion. This is what I love. And yes, Savannah, you're absolutely correct. The school is unaccredited. So that means that whatever you learned, whatever you study, if you want to have some form of degree of accomplishment, many of these young people, let's say they continue to go through, would take the GED, some kind of state qualifying. So you wouldn't get okay, so a diploma from Donda Academy would have no value. That's the best way I could put it, because it's not accredited by the Western Association of Schools. It's also a private school. So when I use the term private here, these parents did sign up with some knowledge that this was a private school. It wasn't going to be structured as maybe more public and the more known private schools. And the incentive to do so was that this school was half the tuition of a more competitive private school. So, the West children attend a school out on the West Coast, and I believe it's called the Sierra Leone School. It's maybe about 45 or 50,000 a year. This school is about 15,000. So with that said, and with all the horrors we just saw, because I have to agree, it looked like it wasn't a cusp of a cult. It looked like some kind of dungeon. I mean, I need sunlight, so I would have never made it in there. I need to have my sunlight. I gather as an incentive, he gave all the kids a pair of Yeezys or whatever, and the parents thought that was really great. And then their children were being sort of, the term would be maybe institutionalized, being programmed. And that's a little frightening. That's a little frightening. I think the biggest, the largest loss here, and this is factual, for every 1 year a child has a poor learning environment, education, it takes 4 years to make that up. So if you went in there in 2021 and your parents took you out in 2023, and let's say you didn't have any additional support, meaning you didn't have a tutor, you didn't go to enrichment classes after school, you didn't go away to a summer camp program where you did some academia, you're looking at 8 years of having to work to get back up to level. So I commend that woman. I'm sorry I didn't get her name. God bless that whistleblower. God bless her bravery. She said what we haven't heard many people say. She wasn't going to be intimidated by celebrities and somebody's title and their money and their position. She was there doing what I love. She was loving and protecting those children. And I absolutely support her lawsuit for wrongful termination. And I hope she gets all of what she was not paid and served. And on top of that, 1,000-fold, because it took great courage for her to stand up and to speak. And you can tell from what she's talking about that she's knowledgeable, she's educated, she's well poised. She was probably trying to convey so many ways of things that needed to be implemented. And much like Katrina said, and here's the flunky, yeah, what's the problem with the food? He wasn't an educator. He was just supporting a friend. So God bless all the kids who don't go there anymore. And the ones who are still attending, good luck.
Yeah, but you notice, thank you, Felicia, they changed it. It's no longer a school. It's like some type of after program, like after school program type of situation.
But that's what it's been. There was no set curriculum. There was no structure. There wasn't 4 years of English, 5 years of world studies, 1 year of another language. It was none of that. It was, what we're going to do today. Maybe we're going to go out into the woods and we're going to, nature. It was no structure. That's the best way I could put it. No structure. So now after school programs tend not to be as structured. And that's what it should have been from the beginning.
That's what it should have been from the beginning. And much to what you said, she didn't give us the exact years, but she said that. She said, God help you, pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, if you were behind and then you go to the next school. She's saying what you're saying. It's like
right. And so what will happen, if for those who may be interested, what will happen? So now you transferring your child, you have to test them. And if your child falls short of the grade level you'd say they should be in, they have to double back. So there's so many things that can happen here when you're choosing a school, when you're choosing where your children are going to be educated, so that you can get ahead of these things becoming an issue. So these parents, and I hope that the transition wasn't as challenging, but they were definitely there for 2 years. Can you imagine a young person who was a junior or a sophomore?
Oh my God.
They had to double back. The paper mean nothing. It meant nothing unless they took the GED or something. Yeah.
That's horrific. Very sad. And his friend, the advisor, somebody should have advised him not to do that interview.
Yeah. And I also like to say the GED is much tougher to score and pass than 4 years in most high schools.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Whew.
You right on that, Felicia. You definitely right on that. That GED test is way harder than that high school exam. It's way harder. So you definitely right on that one.
Oh. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and move into this next story. Shout out to the whistleblower. And she's standing 10 toes down in her square. She said she don't give a darn. And she didn't come through as no Jane Doe. She's showing her name, her face. And they said the man currently has no lawyer. He better lawyer up because he got to April and that trial is going to happen. And they will get a default judgment. He could think it's a joke if he wants to. But girlfriend right there, I know one thing for sure. She ain't playing. And that man, what was his friend name talking about? Oh, they wasn't tough enough to handle an alternative schedule. Now he know darn well his kids don't eat no sushi every day. Hit that like button, y'all, and I'm going to roll into this next story. Tory Lanez. Now, ever since Tory Lanez got locked up, he been trying to get a new trial. He been trying to say, a friend came out and said, I know Tory didn't do it. The girls was fighting over him. It's just been a mess. So this apparently, according to the lawyer, the ex-lawyer of his, is his second time around saying he want his money back because she had a conflict of interest. So Tory Lanez, my lawyer was in business with Roc Nation. I demand a refund. And in case you don't understand what he's trying to say Megan Thee Stallion, okay, was connected to Roc Nation and Jay-Z, and they all wanted to see him behind bars, and so was this lawyer. So that's the basis of his conversation. So Tory Lanez is ripping his former attorney apart in a formal ethics complaint to the State Bar of California, complaining she didn't have the best interest at heart when she represented him in his criminal case over Megan Thee Stallion pow-powing. TMZ Hip Hop obtained Tory's complaint, in which he says his former attorney, Shawn Holley, abandoned him when he was when the going got tough in his criminal case, but not before paying her a few pretty pennies. So the incarcerated Say It singer claims he took on Holley to represent him without knowing she had the business ties to Megan's record label, Roc Nation. Y'all seeing the connection here? Now, this, if you don't remember, when he was found guilty, his father lost his stuff. His father was very emotional about this situation. I'll play a little bit for you as a reminder. Hold on one second.
I just stood here in this Los Angeles County and witnessed the worst miscarriage of justice that this world has ever seen. You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z. Yes. You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it. Amen. The only independent witness in this courtroom is a man whose name is Shawn Kelly. He came to court, and our attorneys, he would not even shake their hand after he went upstairs with Kathy Ta and Alex Bott. They met on Saturday before. They met with our witness. And then the man came back, and I sat in the hallway while he sat with Jody Little, the prosecutor's investigator, who acted so dumb, an intelligent woman who did not want, listen, I've seen so much evidence buried in this, and I know exactly what the public out here will say. Don't talk. You will say, I say this because I'm a father. See, I am a father of thousands around the world. I'm a father of my kids, but a spiritual father to many. And I don't make stupid allegations because I got nothing better to do. You all have been bartering and trading the souls of young black and brown men in this country. And I'm calling on all the umbrellas. I'm calling on everybody in this country to begin to rise up because your sons have been done dirty. That's right. That's right.
Well, rise up, people. Rise up, okay? So Tony cites Hulu's hit series Reasonable Doubt.
Everybody behave.
Hold on, guys. Hulu series Reasonable Doubt as a source of a conflict of interest. He says Holley served as one of the principal producers on the show, which is loosely based on her life as a celeb attorney. Megan and Beyonce's Grammy-winning collab, Savage Remix, was featured in season 2 of the show, as was a track from Holley's daughters, Nayana, who has sung backup for Beyonce in the past. Tony says Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez was allowed to assist Megan in giving police statements and claims Holley left him high and dry when she quit representing him on December 18th, just 5 days before the guilty verdict. But after Tory says he paid her between $200 to $300K to retain her services. Tony says his refusal to take a guilty plea caused Holley to neglect fighting for his innocence, including by allegedly telling the DNA expert not to perform extensive studies on the Pow Pow after he insisted he never touched it. Tory believes Holley was acting on the orders of Roc Nation to force him to plead out. And when it didn't work, she withdrew under the pretense that a witness accused her of bribery to affect her testimony on Tory's behalf, which Tory said was never true. He's now demanding the California State Bar discipline Holley for the alleged ethical breaches and wants her to return the money he paid. Well, does he get a refund? What are your thoughts, Savannah?
No. No, this Tory Lanez has been grasping at straws and pulling whatever he can to either get out on a mistrial or shorten his sentence. I'm wondering where all this energy from the dad and his side was when the incident occurred. I mean, bottom line, a woman was assaulted, and I'm trying to be careful, with you. Someone got hurt regardless of, and then he went ahead and made a song about it, and actually made fun of the whole incident. It's just him thinking that he was invincible and was not. I don't think that he thought he was going to be convicted or get the amount of time that he did. Why did they not bring up the fact that his legal team didn't do a a good job with pleading his case? But he also, if I recall correctly, violated a restraining order where the judge put some additional restrictions on him because he kept acting a fool out here in these streets. So I have no sympathy for Tory Lanez. And I'm not a fan of any of them, so I don't. It's not about being a stallion or whatever. But I just know a woman was um, hurt with an object in a vehicle, and their stories have never been believable from the beginning, from all three, because they tried to cover it up, or but they just can never get their story straight. So I think the only one who came out extremely clean, and that was because Chris did a hell of a job covering up the press and the connection to the Kardashian home, because that's where they had departed and this altercations actually started. And then Chris did a great job cleaning it up and them not being involved in it.
She sure did. Thank you, Savannah. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So first of all, in order for the attorney to be dismissed from the case, she would have had to get proof from the courts. So I'm calling BS. I don't think this attorney did that because of that reason. I think she saw the case for what it was and just accused herself. I don't know what the reason is, but he got to show proof. Either way it go, he got to show proof. Show some proof to the court. Maybe you will get your money back. Next time, choose better. All I can say is I'm so tired of these criminals coming and telling us they sad side story after the fact.
Oh, what did is that? Thank you, in my opinion. Tay, you're out.
I said, Tori, you better come get your dad because his blood pressure is going high real quick. You might as well tell him to take his medicine. And who's that lady that behind him with the puff hair?
Tori's stepmother, the dad's wife.
Girl, what's up with that hair? Do you choose that hair? And Diva, I see a kid like she going like around and then the front and this right here. I like, kid, just stay at the same spot right there. And then he tell that guy like behind him, he said, quiet. I'm like, who you telling somebody quiet? And they try to like agree with you. Like I said, Tor, you better get your dad before his blood pressure is going high. That's all.
Thank you. Katrina, you're up.
I'm sorry. He just need to let that go. That little leprechaun and lost that pot of gold because he's not gonna get that $300,000 back. He done kissed that goodbye. Somebody done got that pot of gold. You told on yourself when you made that phone call from the jail. How many times do people have to tell you, do not say things on a phone call in the jail because the things tell you is being recorded? You told on your own self, and then a witness came out and said they saw what you did. So if you got this lawyer and you know this lawyer was associated with Roc Nation, you should have got rid of her from the beginning. But no, you assisted and you let it went on and on. So there's nobody to blame but yourself. And like I said, you're not gonna get that money back. You can just kiss that pot of gold. It's gone. It's gone. So you out of luck. Sorry, Leprechaun, but you can't buy no buckle shoes with that money. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Felicia, you're up. Should he get his refund?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm on the fence with this one.
Mm-hmm.
when you're reading it to me, he's accusing her of malpractice, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay. And so it seems like maybe he has a basis for malpractice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not him saying to her, you need to give me back the money. So he goes through the bar association and he puts in a complaint.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says that, she didn't properly represent him or she didn't notify him certain things. And because of that, he's charged, he wants him to find her to be liable. So he's going after her on two votes, not just the money, but on, going for her bar license. But, I wish Shawn good luck. I think she was out of pocket earlier this year. And I wasn't confident as to why she was going in that direction. This was after the verdict and everything with Tory Lanez. This has something to do with Lil Rod and Mr. Combs.
Yeah.
So I don't know where she is on this. So I'm gonna be in between. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know if she should get it or not. I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm thinking, when I think of these cases, I try to separate how I might feel about the individual in their case and about the bigger picture overall. Let me back up a little bit and say this. It seems like certain lawyers are running the celebrity world when they get in trouble. Now I'm hearing this Alex Spiro, and we're hearing that name all over with the Diddy cases and all of that. This Shawn Holley, you hear her name with some of these Diddy cases. So it seems like, what is there a go-to set of celebrity lawyers that they all go to and kind of utilize for their different cases? With this situation in Shawn Holley, I think it's messy at best. I do. You have your client who is pretty much fighting against a Roc Nation client. It's messy to me. It's messy. But I feel like these lawyers now, especially when you're seeing all the Diddy cases, nobody has any integrity anymore. Everybody's about the bottom line, the money I can get. And we have to remember that a lot of people did not want to come forward or said they tried to, but Diddy had so many connections that, they couldn't get justice, so to speak. Well, you think Diddy got connections, surely Jay-Z got connections. So although he's not taking this a dirty route, by saying, Jay-Z has connections, therefore she has connections, therefore my stuff keeps getting thrown out because of all the connections. He's telling the people, listen, connect the dots. Connect the dots. This is messy. And, if you don't want to, do anything with her license, but at the very least, give me my money back. Okay? So he could probably go ahead and continue to try to fight with other lawyers, getting himself out of jail. He has an uphill battle, but I'm feeling like he got a dog in this fight, so to speak. And Shawn Holley is messy. And so Increased Matter says, Shawn Holley was also Lindsay Lohan's attorney, as well as when she was going through her court issues. Yeah, they seem like they just go to the same attorneys. I don't know if they use them because of the track record, use them because of the name. I don't know, but it's a mess, right? He asked for a refund on that headpiece. OMG. Listen, the dad was piping hot mad, but we're going to see how this actually turns out. I'll stay connected to that story and let you know if I see any updates. We're going to roll into this last story. I don't have the lawsuit, but it's probably good because I probably wouldn't be up for reading that thing tonight. But Diddy's latest lawsuit, a 10-year-old, was 10 at the time, is accusing Diddy of violating him when he was 10, and allegedly there was something put in his soda. And then after that, it's a lot of similarities, unfortunately, to, what many cases have said before. It's just, it's very crazy. It's just so, I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't even know like how I would feel if I was a person defending Diddy, and hearing all of this stuff. I just don't even know what to say. So Diddy hit by another sickening pedophile lawsuit, jailed SB accused of R-ing a 10-year-old boy after 9-year-old victim came forward to accuse him of abuse. Now, the 9-year-old victim at the time, these people are no longer 9 and 10. We haven't seen, or I at least haven't seen that particular lawsuit yet, but this thing is getting worse and worse. Before it was 13, now we down to 10, and there's allegedly a person that was 9 at the time that we are waiting to speak out. So Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of drugging and R-ing a young boy aged 10 as he awaits trial on ST and racketeering charges in his jail cell. Now, I want to say this too. Any other adult that was possibly there at the time and they watched this or participated in this or helped facilitate this, they're just as sick as Diddy allegedly is. And I have to say those words, there's no convictions yet. And to me, they need to go down too. I want to hear about these other individuals, and somebody needs to go pick them up off the streets also. The horrifying new accusation against the disgraced music producer was revealed in a new lawsuit filed on Monday, October 28. Radar Online can reveal. According to the bombshell lawsuit, the victim claimed he met the disgraced producer back in 2005 when he traveled with his parents from California to New York City. The victim claimed he was a 10-year-old at the time and interested in becoming an actor or rapper. The young boy's parents hired an industry consultant who arranged for Combs to meet with the young boy for an audition. Combs allegedly asked to meet with the boy alone before meeting with the family, and the consultant allegedly took the 10-year-old to Combs' hotel room without his parents. So that consultant needs to be named in this too. According to the lawsuit, the young boy performed for Combs, who told him that he could make him a star. It seems like, this particular sentence is in other lawsuits, or that statement. And it seemed like that was allegedly a signature thing he said. I could make you a star. According to the lawsuit, another person in the room gave the boy a soda, and he allegedly began to feel a little funny. I want to know who is the person that gave him this soda. I want to know that other person. I want this consultant to go down. I want this other person that gave this soda to go down. The plaintiff's attorney claimed the drink was laced with substances, including but not limited to GHB and/or ecstasy. How do they know that, though? I'm just asking questions. How do they know exactly what the soda was laced with? After drinking the soda, Combs allegedly SA'd the 10-year-old. Combs allegedly told the boy during the assault, "You have to do some stuff you don't want to do sometimes." The consultant hired by the boy's parents allegedly noticed he was badly shaken and took him back to his parents. Following the assault, the alleged victim has suffered severe depression, anxiety over the years. Now, at the time of the publication, this is now the second youngest victim of Combs. The youngest victim said he was 9 years old when he allegedly SA'd by the disgraced star. According to the lawsuit filed in early October, Combs allegedly promised the victim he could make him a star. Just last week, 5 new lawsuits accusing Combs of SA were filed by 2 men and 3 women. One of the victims claimed that she was 13 years old when Combs allegedly armed her in 2000 in New York following the VMA Awards. As the list of ongoing accusation grows, Combs has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing since he was arrested back in September. The disgraced star is being held without bail after pleading not guilty, and his trial was set for 2025. In a previous statement, the rapper's lawyer said, "In the court, the truth will prevail, that Mr. Combs has never SA'd anyone, adult or minor, male or man or woman." Oh, God, this is disgusting. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's overwhelming. Savannah, your thoughts?
I agree, Diva. It just seems like the stories are getting more and more gross as the more information or alleged incidents are leaked to the media. I think, and we're all suffering from overload right now, not just the Diddy thing, but with the elections. And I can recall how I felt when the Nickelodeon scandal broke, and because I was one that I raised my kids watching Nickelodeon and all those shows, and I just wonder not only what price these children had to pay and all the pain and torment that they carry now, but were the parents utilizing their children as to fulfill some dreams that they had that never came to be? And I think that can be said across from not only was the Nickelodeon scandal, but the same with taking them to Bad Boy just so that they can perform, hoping to be the next big whatever it is, because Diddy didn't pay his talent, and this was just such a known fact even back then. So I have to question and side eye the parents about them taking their children to the wolf's lair and just allowing them loose with the wolf, not being chained up, and no guardrails or nothing protecting their children. And now these children that were um, violated in some way are now adults that are broken in therapy and haven't been able to have the productive life that they were supposed to always have. So I just think again we're not done with this, and it's just going to get more weirder and gross as it goes along. But at this point, I think we need to start seeing proof, names. Tell me who brought the soda. Was it a Coke, Pepsi? What was it? I need all full detail. Just like you told me about 1,000 bottles of baby oil, I need to know a full detailed account of what on how this young child fell victim to a room full of predators, because it wasn't just him. Nobody in there saved or protected that child from his innocence being lost.
I agree with you, and this recruiter too. So when you brought the child to Diddy, you just left him with Diddy. Like, this is crazy. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So this is very heartbreaking. I'm really tired of hearing these stories about these children
Yeah.
because, first of all, when are we gonna start holding these parents accountable? Every case I hear about a kid, whether it's the R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, all Nickelodeon, all these kids, nobody is protecting them. They have to go home with somebody. You're not telling me you don't see your child is deteriorating. She something is wrong with he or she. You know what I'm saying? You don't notice nothing as a parent. You don't notice your child is different. They doctor don't see anything wrong with them. To this point now, I'm seriously. Not only do I want these people that's doing it, I want the parents held accountable, because this is a really neglect. You know what I'm saying? This is on a bigger scale. Because who in the world is taking their kids to stars that they don't know and leaving them? How do you leave your child unattended with some people you don't know?
Mm.
You don't know Adam Jack about none of these folks, but you're gonna leave your child with them. Like they care about your kid as much as you do. That's BS. I want these parents held accountable. I sat here and listened to all this gross stuff about R. Kelly and all these kids he had. Why are we hearing this thing again? It's now we got 9, 10, 13. I'm tired of kids because kids don't have the right to say, yeah, I want to go. No, I don't. Yeah, I want to sleep with this person. No, I don't. Like, who is protecting these kids? And
Mm.
why are the courts not starting to hold these parents accountable? Why did you let your child that is under the age go with somebody you don't know.
Mm. It is very sad. And you know what? Why does anybody have to audition solo? This is just it's getting crazy. Tay, your thoughts?
I'll say this is nasty, disgusting. People don't have no moral like it was way long time ago because they take these babies innocent because they ain't got the childhood they want because of what? Of the parents selfish right there. You throw your dreams to your child, and guess what? Your child went to this person right here, and then they got that right there, and now it's been 20 years or 30 years after that, and they came out right there. Parents need to be accountable. That's their responsible. You should know what's going on with your child. You should see the red flag. Parents, y'all better watch out for the red flags. That's all I'll say.
I appreciate you.
Hey, Diva, how do we know what's in the coat though? Did they take him to a doctor?
I don't know. I don't know. Hold on, let me get somebody out. Okay, go ahead. I don't know. Katrina, your thoughts?
I was just thinking the same thing. In my opinion, said if how do they know what was in the Coke can if he wasn't taken to a hospital or they didn't take the drink and analyze it? Like, how did they know those were the substance that was in this drink? And the child never told his parents, and they never confronted Diddy about this. I'm not saying I'm not victim blaming. I'm just asking these questions. The child never told, well, you because you know kids can keep secrets, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but the child never told their parents or anything like that. And as we said before, how do they know what was in the Coke can all these years ago? So did he actually go to the hospital or something? Did somebody call the police or something? Because this is not adding up. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. But what I'm saying is if they got this evidence of what was in the Coke can, he said that this happened to him. Did he go to the hospital? Did somebody get a police report? Because how did they go back and get the Coke can and say what was in the Coke can? And like you said, who gave him the Coke? And who else was in the room around them? And you said he said the recruiter brought him to Diddy. So if you're the recruiter, I'm putting my child in your hands, and you allowing this to happen. So you leaving him alone with Diddy? Did they pay this parent to have this child S.A.? Because it's not making no sense to me. You telling us something 30 years ago what was in a Coke can. Only way we knew that is y'all had the thing analyzed back in those days and he went to a doctor or something like that because this really ain't adding up to me. And I'm not, don't come to me, chat. I'm not saying it didn't happen. But what I'm saying is this is really, really weird. This is totally, totally weird. And I'm not, well, whoever did it pissed off, you should let them, that alcohol people alone because, baby, they piling everything upon you even if they didn't happen, if these people probably weren't even there at your parties or whatsoever, but they got the information, so they're gonna come after you, even though we don't know if the story is true. But everybody's story is lining up the same way, and we got some crazies out there that would do anything or say anything for money. And I'm not victim shaming y'all. Don't come for me. But what I'm just saying is, if you analyze this coke, so what did he do? He kept the coke can until 30 years ago. I mean, from 30 years ago, he still got the drink. It ain't making no sense. But maybe they're just me. I'm just saying that part is really, really throwing me because, like, I'm trying to figure out how they know what was in the drink, and nothing happened. Nobody took this child to the doctor or anything like that. So did the child go to the doctor to know what was in the drink. Did they take blood tests or something on him? Something is not right. But I guess we're here from the lawsuit. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you, Felicia. Your thoughts?
You know, this is a lot. This is a lot. I read in the Rolling Stone, Katrina, that he said he told his parents immediately, and they were afraid to go to the police. They feared Mr. Combs. Let me say this. Let me say this to all the mothers and the fathers in the chat. Never be afraid to love and protect your children. Somebody does your child wrong, I don't care who it is. And when I say I don't care who it is, I don't care if it's your mother, I don't care if it's your father, I don't care if it's your mother's first best friend, sister, I don't care.
Preach, preach, preach.
Seek some kind of justice for your child, because that begins the healing process.
Yes.
You know, that lets them know, no, you have rights. You are worthy. We value you. We believe you. And according to this young kid at the time, I'm with Katrina. I don't know what was in the can. I don't know if they went and dug it up. I don't know where it is. As for Mr. Busby, the attorney who filed this, I don't trust him. I think he's slime. So there's all kinds of doubt here. But much like Savannah said, can we move forward now with the superseding indictment and come in here with some criminal charges? Yes, there are a lot of lawsuits being filed. Yes, they are. And a lot of people are coming forward. And they're supposed to be weeding out those who are legit and those who are not. But I think many of us would agree, when you're being accused of such a horrendous act against a child in support of their parents, because I'm not sleeping there. Mommy and daddy brought them there to be sold and abused. And you're now the face of this lawsuit. We need you to clean it up, Mr. Busby, and really work with the Manhattan DA to bring in the names of these young people now, and let's move forward with the criminal charges. I'm done.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Let me just see. I have it. It's pretty short. I'll share the Rolling Stones article really quickly. So Shawn Combs sues for alleged SA of a 10-year-old boy in a new round of lawsuit. The new complaints filed Monday are the latest in a wave of, giving substances, RA and SA allegations filed through lawyers who set victims' hotline up. Sean Diddy Combs was hit with another round of discernment lawsuits Monday as he sits in federal jail in Brooklyn, awaiting trial on racketeering XT charges. One of the new plaintiffs says he was 10 years old, aspiring rapper, when Combs allegedly gave him substances and armed him in a New York City hotel in 2005 during an audition. These hotels, because Mike Jeffries, he did his stuff in hotels. These hotels need to be held accountable also. Like, we need everybody to go down. The new complaints were filed by prominent Houston lawyer, now they call him a prominent Houston lawyer, Tony Busby, and his California counterpart, Andrew Van Arsdale, as the latest in a barrage of lawsuits from a purported pool of more than 120 vetted clients. The lawyers previously filed 13 lawsuits against Combs on October 14th and October 20th, with many of the anonymous plaintiffs alleging they were superstitiously given substances, forced into S acts without consent, and threatened into silence. In the first new lawsuit filed Monday in New York State Court, the John Doe plaintiff says he was 10 when his parents accompanied him to Manhattan to meet with music industry executives, including Combs, to advance his music career. He says a consultant hired by his parents delivered him to a hotel room and then left him with Combs. Shame on this goddamn consultant. And he should be in this lawsuit too. According to the lawsuit, the plaintiff was given a soda that he believes was laced with substances. After the plaintiff consumed his soda and began feeling its effects, Combs told plaintiff to move closer to him, which plaintiff did. Combs then abruptly pushed plaintiff down and said words to the effect of, "You have to do some stuff you don't want to do sometimes," the lawsuit reads. Once plaintiff had pushed plaintiff down, Combs pulled out his private part out of his pants and told the 10-year-old plaintiff to kiss it. When plaintiff resisted, Combs nevertheless forced it into him and proceeded to repeatedly push it in and out. The plaintiff alleges he froze in terror, lost consciousness, and later woke up with his pants undone and pain in his back area. The new plaintiff alleges that his parents later noticed something was wrong. He says he told them what allegedly happened and that they were terrified of the potential consequences of reporting the abuse. He alleged he suffers from severe depression and anxiety and had to be homeschooled after the alleged incident. The lawyer behind the lawsuit is interested in media attention rather than the truth, as is obvious from his constant press appearances and 1-800 number, Combs' team wrote in an email to Rolling Stones on Monday. As we said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt, even in response to claims that are ridiculous or demonstrably false. Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence that the facts and integrity of the judicial process in court, the truth will prevail, that Mr. Combs never SA'd or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. And the second lawsuit filed Monday, also in the state court in Manhattan, a John Doe plaintiff alleges he was 17 years old in 2008 when he participated in a 3-day audition for making the band. He alleges that on the first day, Combs began groping and fondling him during a private meeting while asking how he would handle situations as pressure in the music industry. He says that a day later, during another private interview, Combs allegedly forced him to perform oral and sodomized him. The John Doe plaintiff alleges Combs and a bodyguard then assaulted him in tandem on the third day. So we got Combs and a bodyguard with Combs framing the assault as a test of his willingness to do anything necessary to succeed in the music industry, the lawsuit states. He alleges his obvious discomfort with the incident led to his elimination from the competition. Combs' legal woes date back to last November when his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Cassie Ventura filed her bombshell R and ST lawsuit against him. Combs settled with Ventura within 24 hours in her disturbing complaint. Ventura accused Combs of repeated physical violence and forcing her to participate in highly choreographed substance-fueled encounters called freak-offs. This is heavy. See, with that making the band, I always say where there's smoke, there's fire, right? With that making the band, so many other people were around because you have to film this thing. All of these people need to go down. All of these people need to go down. And a lot of these cases, they keep naming that a bodyguard participated. I'm wondering how they know who's the bodyguard versus who's a producer versus who's that, right? I'm just wondering. I'm not saying that they're not trying to. I'm just wondering, I'm saying that because I feel like if you know that it was a bodyguard, did you know the name? And if you know the name, can we name those people in this situation? In this lawsuit? I'm closing out, guys. This is a mess when it comes to this Diddy thing. And definitely, you got to stay prayed up because all of this getting into your system, it is a lot. 60 seconds of a final word, Savannah. What are your thoughts?
Diva, I'm side-eyeing this story more than the other ones because from what you read, he assaulted the child when the child came in that day. This is a 10-year-old that was just violated in such a horrific way. And someone, once he left that room, that child is going to walk different, act different, be in pain, crying. There's his maneuver. I'm just all types of confused now whether he was there with a parent, a guardian, an uncle, a babysitter, someone noticed that this child was not acting normal. There was something obviously wrong. Something happened. So this is more than just Sean Combs that did something to this 10-year-old. If something happened, I'm confused. I'm so lost.
Thank you. In my opinion, your final thoughts?
So in other words, they protected Mr. Combs in order to unprotect and make their child feel unsafe. My thoughts is lock the parents up and throw
Ooh.
away the key.
Oh my.
Because it pissed me off even more when Felicia said they didn't want to. He came home and told them, and they didn't want to do it because they were scared of Sean Diddy Combs. You couldn't scare me enough if you touched my child, okay? It's no way in the world. I don't know no parent alive that would sit there and let this happen to their kid and they say, oh no, I can't do it because I need to protect this man that just abused my kid and not protect my own child. So now this child has mental issues because of you. You tortured your kid. You told him he wasn't safe. You told him you wasn't going to protect him. You told him whatever happened to him, he going to have to suck it up and take it. Now make that make sense.
Whew, thank you. In my opinion, say your final words, 60 seconds.
Well, I with you on this right here, in my opinion. Lock the parents up and throw the keys away. 1, if you see your kid like that right there. 2, you should go to the police. And 3, went to the hospital. And you tell that boy that he need to suck it up. That tell me you ain't no good parent. It's all about greed. It's about selfish. And you don't care about this baby right here. That baby did not ask to brought here in this earth. Because you're selfish right there. And I hope this child get a therapy for this right here. And take that 10 years old away from his parent. Let somebody take care of him. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Katrina, final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm through talking about these people. Train riders, Adiba is here under very, very sad circumstances. Um, it's not required. It's just a offering. If you want to donate to her condolence fund, you can cash app her. Because she's coming here trying to give her some entertainment and get her mind off things. And no, I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just saying if you feel from your heart you want to give her a donation, her cash app is on the screen. And Diva, I am so sorry for your loss. You couldn't control what happened, but these parents could have controlled what happened with their kids. And that's all I got to say. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Katrina. I appreciate you. Felicia, your final thoughts?
Thank you again, Diva, for coming and sharing the light with us tonight. That's all I got to say. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for all the condolences. I'll see you next time. Diva, am I coming to Alabama? I'm really planning to do a meet and greet in 2025. But for my first time doing it, it's definitely going to be in the tri-state area. So it's going to be in either New Jersey or New York, but I'm probably going to do it because I live in Jersey. For my first try, I'm probably going to do it in Jersey. So I'll keep you posted on all the details. I appreciate you.
Diva come to Alabama. Trust and believe. I'm going to get her ticket. She coming.
But I appreciate all y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Praying for the victims for sure. Good night and goodbye, everybody.